Okay, we should be live, mate. We should be live.
Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. We are taking a bit of a gamble today because we've had a message come in from one of our viewers who tunes in live. I've just got the notification that we are now live on Facebook. We are live on YouTube as well. Welcome to the Crypto Like a Pro show. We love engagement. So send in your message. If you've got a question that you'd like us to answer tonight during the next 60 minutes, just shoot it in the questions box. Please do register on the StreamYard link so that we can see your name and your face when we bring up the question on the live show. So Con, who's based in Perth in Australia, I believe, he tunes in pretty regularly. He sent me a French and Italian version of Bella Ciao. Now, after yesterday's debacle where you played a slow song at the beginning of the show, you played the end song at the beginning of the show, Con thinks he can do a better job, basically. So we're going to press play. We're going to give it 30 seconds and see how we go with this one. You could be Simon Cowell, mate. No, actually, you be Louis Walsh. I'll be Simon Cowell.
I don't remember what Louis does.
So many answers to that. Okay. Not bad. Speak.
I was just telling you before the show, mate, that I'm a bit tired and this is going to definitely send me off.
Mate, have you not had your coffee fix?
The red buzzer is here, Con. The red buzzer is here.
Don't know if you get that in Australia, but in America and the UK, any talent show with a red buzzer, if you get the red buzzer, it's not good. Okay, so we've given it a minute. What do we think, guys? Please vote as well if you are live on the show. Thank you very much for tuning in. I think it's okay. I think I'd play it at the end. How about you? Have you pressed the button yet?
No, he's buzzed off, mate. Done.
Con is saying gold buzzer. He wants a golden buzzer. Mate, you got to step up your song game.
Yeah,
it's good to have a different one, but
if you're on the golden buzzer, you have to sing it live yourself.
Now I know that basically there's someone I trust less with the music than Andy. So if Con ever recommends any music, I will rather go to Andy than I would Con. So just saying hi to a few people in the house. Zachariah is in the house. Facebook user, identify yourself, please. You have to click on the StreamYard link. And from there, we can see your name and your face so that we know who we're speaking to, like Giannis. Hey, guys, that's his standard copy and paste for the show, isn't it? He is trying to win, I think. He's trying to win the little competition we do, which is who are the first person to comment live on the show. It's a little bit of fun that we have if you're new to the show. So, Kevin, you are third place. Great photo, though. Slavomir. It's a toss-up now. We've got our two people's champions. So, Slavomir is in second place. Paul Bridgman, tuning in live on YouTube. Good afternoon, chaps. Hope you are both well. I'm Tickety Boo, mate. How are you? I haven't asked yet.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm not, as I was saying, I'm feeling a little bit tired this morning for some reason. But other than that, I'm good. Nice to see some green back in the markets when I wake up. I try not to look immediately. I do my meditation first, and then I have a look to see if we are green across the board or. But yeah, no, good, mate. I'm good. When I'm cycling most days now with my new bike, so that's good fun. Really enjoying.
I just bought a bike today. Yeah, awesome. Private lockup. I had my last one locked up in a private lockup. My missus and I had matching bikes. She got a good deal on hers. They got stolen in a private lockup, underground car park of the building. They got stolen. So, and now I'm in a place I can cycle freely. I decided today we're going into a 3-day lockdown. So for various reasons, and I don't really want to dwell on that, but I can go out and don't have to wear a mask if I've got a bike. So that was as good a kick up the arse as I needed to get out and get myself a bike. So how many Ks are you riding a day, Mr. Demi? And please tell me you're not one of those guys that puts on the whole fluorescent cycling attire.
No, I've no idea how many Ks, mate. I'm just cycling for fun. But I've got this, I have bought this little strap-on thing that I can put my phone in. That's pretty cool.
I really wondered how you're going to
finish my keys. It looks like a bra.
Wow.
Everybody's got them in the UK. I don't know if they've made it in Australia, but they're very popular over here.
Fair enough.
Great. No, it's great. Yeah, I haven't cycled properly for about 20 years, so it's good fun. I'm enjoying it, and there's some amazing places here where I live where you can cycle.
That's pretty cool. So look, just before we get into the content, tell us, what's your morning routine for those that don't know? So it said you must be really tempted to check the markets when you wake up, and you go straight into a meditation. So tell us what your morning routine is.
Yeah, so in general, the first thing that I do is I come down and go into my office, because it's a separate room to everybody else, and I meditate for 10 minutes just to I kind of think about how I want my day to go, and then I meditate, and then I kind of plan my day, essentially what I'm gonna sort of how I'm gonna accomplish my day. Sometimes I do the plan the night before, but if I haven't dedicated that time, then I'll plan the day in that after my meditation, where I've kind of calmed my mind. And then I'll go through the markets and see what's going on. I'll spend sort of half an hour just having a flick through all the things that I've been watching, and any alerts that I've got overnight. And once I've kind of seen what's gone on, I'll go and get my breakfast and then deal with the kids, all that kind of stuff. And then at some point in the morning, I'll go to the gym, or I'll do some sort of exercise. That it's not as fixed as it was when I only had to look after myself. You have to be a little bit flexible with kids, but in general, exercise and meditation is there pretty much every day, Monday to Friday. Even if my exercise is just for a little run or a long walk or going to the gym or going for a swim. I've just signed up to a really nice gym, which I'm starting on Thursday. So I'll be swimming, steam room, sauna, all that kind of stuff. So I'm looking forward to that.
Nice. Very good. Very good that you're treating yourself. So Facebook user, please identify yourself. The video is breaking. Is anybody else having any issues with their streaming? Let us know, please. Andrew McAlpine in the house. Hi, team. Zachariah is true. Riding bikes on hills suck. I got a 24 speed. I got a 24 speeder there, so it's I was a bit out of breath. I'm not going to lie. So and Konstantinos.
Right, Konstantinos is back.
gotta love our Greek friends. They're very blunt and straight to the point. Quick chatting and get on with it, you two ladies. And Rob's in the house. No, the internet is perfect. Thank you, my friend, for verifying that. So let's jump into it. Binance, FCA, all the tomfoolery. What is your take on everything? So maybe just give a backdrop about what's gone on in case people aren't aware. And then, because it's quite big news in the crypto world. So let's just kind of get that one out of the way, the elephant in the room, and then we can move on with some content. And I know you're quite excited to be doing some live chart analysis on Bitcoin, so we will get to that, and it's going to be worth it. But first, let's just talk about this because it is relevant news that's going on in the crypto markets right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So the first thing, guys, is like to know is that we are trading cryptocurrencies, an unregulated market. Let's get that clear. And We're not trading stocks or forex or commodities that have been around for multiple years. We are trading a new asset class that up until really this year, most people were like, if you go back maybe 3-4 years ago, most people would be like, digital currencies, made up stuff. This is a scam. This stuff doesn't make any sense. It's not real. And now we've kind of shifting away from that to actually institutions are now saying this is an asset. Actually this is an asset, and we're investing in it. Like, that's where we are now. So big institutions are investing in Bitcoin. They are investing in Ethereum. Now, granted, they are doing it. A lot of them are doing it in the futures markets, because you can trade the Bitcoin futures and Ethereum. But we also have ETFs now that institutions are buying, so exchange traded funds. So it's becoming more legitimate. However, having said that, things don't shift immediately. And, when you are trading through a cryptocurrency exchange, essentially it's clear. It's not regulated by a governing body like the FCA. It never was. So the announcement doesn't really quite make sense from the FCA, which basically was that essentially Binance shouldn't be offering their product because it's not regulated by the FCA. Having spoken to them myself, Binance, where there might be some confusion is that they acquired another entity, Binance, that was going to seek FCA regulation at some point, but that's not being offered to us. We're using Binance.com, and that is an unregulated exchange. We know the risks. That's just the way it is. If you want to benefit from the gains that cryptos can give you, that no other asset class can give you, then you take that risk. Now, there are ways that you can mitigate that risk that I've spoken about several times, which is if you're holding spot long-term positions, you buy them on the exchange and you can just transfer them to a wallet. You don't need to keep them on the exchange. That goes for any exchange, not just Binance. And that's important to know. When it comes to derivative trading, you will need to have some capital in your exchange if you want to take advantage of the trading conditions that they offer. That's kind of really all there is to say. Now, if anything else gets announced and Binance themselves say, look, actually, we can't accept any UK customers anymore because of this, that's different. But the company's not going under. Your money's not going to, you're not going to lose your money because of what the FCA is saying. That's the first thing to point out. The worst case scenario is that, they say to us, okay, well, we can't trade there anymore. Here's your funds back. That for me, that's obviously independent of that, every exchange has a risk. There is a risk that we could lose our money in any crypto exchange. Now, why did we choose Binance? Why have I chosen Binance? Because they are one of the more reputable exchanges. Now, some people will say their platform is not the most user-friendly, it's not the most beginner-friendly. That's just the user interface. But in terms of safety, in terms of how long they've been around, in terms of like them scamming us, the risks are very, very low. Now think about it like this: why would they run away with our money when they've got a platform that is the most used platform? They've got a listed crypto, BNB, that is one of the top crypto assets in terms of market capitalization. Why would there's no reason. So the risks of us being scammed out of our money is very, very low. That's really all there is to say on that. If we have to, as a UK citizen, if we are not allowed to trade for them, they will tell us, and then there'll be a process where we can withdraw our funds. I'm pretty sure about that. So I'm not really worried. If you are holding long-term positions in any crypto exchange, there's no need to do that. You can transfer them over to a wallet, a software wallet or an external wallet like the Ledger Nano, and store them there for the long term if you don't intend to touch them anyway. It makes sense. But anything else that you're trading, you have to keep on the exchange. That's kind of all there is to say.
Awesome. Cool. Well, look, thank you very much for clarifying that. And I think it just goes without saying, really, that if anything, any of the brown murky stuff does hit the fan, you'll be the first one in the groups just to let us know how you're pivoting, right?
Yeah, sorry, could you repeat that? I was lost there.
Look into my eyes, focus. I'm just saying that if the brown stuff hits the fan, you'll be the first one to make an announcement saying, guys, the Titanic is sinking, but here's a lifeboat. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's what people have got to bear in mind. And also, don't get ruled by your emotions too much. Just because this comes out, do a bit of research and see what's going on and see if it really is as bad as what it is. Because if you'd have done that, like Andy said, the FCA have no jurisdiction on this. So
no,
I'm just going to say this because it's and I want to get your opinion on it and everybody else's opinion on it. We're at the precipice of a major change in what's going on with finances. Yeah, I think everybody knows it's unprecedented. Now, this announcement, has it been done for our greatest good? Are people happy? Are groups of people happy that we're getting access to something which maybe a small group of people to have only ever got back in time and not that long ago? So this announcement, is it being done to F with us and to cause confusion and to cause panic? Why would that be? Or have they got our greatest interest at heart and they're just trying to help us out? As goes with anything in life, I think the truth probably sits somewhere in the middle. How would you feel about that, mate?
Look, at the end of the day, regulators are businesses. They're there to make money. So
how do they make money from this? That's a great point. How would they make money from this?
Well, because if you need to be regulated, then everything has to go through them, and there's license fees that you need to pay. Okay. So no regulator is going to be happy not having, like, when they see how much business is going through Binance and they're not getting a piece of the pie. So it's all about financial gain. There's nothing else to it with that announcement. A lot of the markets are like that. They're kind of led with by institutions for their own financial gain. Everything is very, very organized, let's say. And that's why we mustn't panic when things like that get announced. I mean, I saw the reaction in the group, and then people are posting FUD in the group, scaring people. You've got to be calm. I mean, it's like, there's nothing to, if we've recommended an exchange where I know I'm keeping my money as an experienced trader of 18 years, I'm not doing it lightly. I'm not doing it without doing my research. So you don't need to panic that, with anything that gets announced. If there is something to do and there is a situation, we will deal with it. We'll find a solution. We'll find how to deal with it. Like anything, I mean, there's always risks, whatever you do. I mean, even if you traded with a regulated FX broker, like, there will be some risks. Yes, the FCA do cover your losses, which we don't get here. And I noticed somebody was asking, if there's any insurance you can take out. I mean, not that I'm aware of. If you want to be covered, you need to trade with a regulated broker. Like if you used, for example, something like eToro, that you would be trading CFDs. Yes, they would be regulated, but I would never trade through eToro. The spreads are ridiculous. The coin selection is not there. It doesn't really make sense, not for the type of investments and trading that we want to achieve. So if you want insurance, then you have to go with a broker that offers CFDs as opposed to a crypto exchange, which is what we're using. Like I said, mitigate the risk. If you're storing your coins in a wallet, that's kind of an insurance policy. They're yours now. They're your digital assets. Nobody can take them from you. They are stored. Only you can access them. So that's kind of an insurance policy. And keep less money on the exchange. So only have on the exchange what you need. So if you've got 10K in total, for example, you might just want to keep 2K at a time on the exchange. You can do it like that. Bear in mind though, guys, there are fees. Now, depositing money is free. When you're withdrawing, there are some fees. And when you're sending over to your wallet, there are some fees. Unless, and I don't know this for sure, I know that I haven't used it myself, but I was going to be looking into it, and you guys can look into it yourselves. But Binance do offer their own wallet. So you could, I think it's Trust Wallet, I believe. iTrust Wallet or Trust Wallet. So you can actually use their one and see, it might be free for Binance users to transfer it over to the wallet. So if the exchange ever got hacked, for example, then you would be okay because it's in a wallet that is much, much more secure.
Awesome.
And the best, most secure is obviously a hardware wallet like the Ledger Nano. But
yeah,
I'd say if your investments are a bit more significant, then it's worth doing that.
Which one? Just to clarify.
The hardware one. If you've got like, I don't know, more than 30K, for example, it's probably worth just getting that little bit of extra security. But the software wallets are pretty secure.
So another question that we've had, Andy, can you stack your coin in a wallet like Binance?
When you say stack your coin, do you mean store? What do you mean by stack? Do you know what he means?
No, I don't. I was hoping that you would understand that one because, yeah, I'm the same. I don't understand what that one means. So if you can clarify that,
Can you
we'll try and come back to that question. So whilst we're waiting for that question to be reformed, I just want to share something that's been sent to me over the week. So as we were saying last week, there's software now that can tell us how many whales are buying Bitcoin and they're not selling it, they're holding it. So we don't have to fall for these misdirections in sleight of hand and confusion and scare tactics. We can see that things are being held, cryptos, especially in Bitcoin, the coins are being held. They're not being sold, but the price is just ranging or staying the same. This week I've been sent this and it's really interesting. I want to get your opinion on it. So it says the latest CFTC data for June 15th this year shows asset managers having 517 long Bitcoin futures contracts. Funnily enough, what you were talking about earlier, and we didn't rehearse this, which bet on a rise in Bitcoin prices, a 35% increase over the previous week. The last time asset managers had more than 500 long future contracts was in Q4 of 2020 when Bitcoin prices initiated a string of record highs.
Yeah, I mean, it's not something that I've looked at myself from that perspective, but yeah, I've read something similar, that the institutions are not selling. They've been accumulating on these drops at these levels, at the sort of 30, 32, 34,000 levels. And which obviously says a lot. The market is driven by the big players, and then the retail guys jump in a little bit later on. That's generally how the markets move. So yeah, that's obviously a bullish signal for Bitcoin. And I wouldn't necessarily use that as a guide that we're now going to break the highs and we're going up. because we can get carried away with that.
Mm-hmm.
However, that's a bullish signal, and you can definitely use that as one guide as to what Bitcoin might do next. But I always prefer the technicals to show me, and we can use it. That's more like a fundamental background picture that actually there is accumulation going on, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's the lows. At this precise moment, and we will go through the chart, but I think that there's some really good signs that we'll get a push up in the markets, but whether it's the ultimate low before we go and break the highs, that's still up for debate, and I'll discuss that when I go through the charts. But I think it's important right now that, as I've been saying for the last few weeks, take the opportunity to buy spot at these lows. I've mentioned it a few times, but I wouldn't over leverage myself at this stage. I think even if the market is going to reverse, it certainly isn't going to do it in a simple linear fashion. It normally can become quite messy, volatile. So you have to bear that in mind. And if you're overly exposed, you could get liquidated and then the market reverses without you. So you have to be very careful. At this stage, right now, the clever thing to do is to say, well, look, prices are cheap or cheaper than they were a month ago. And if I thought they were good value then, they're excellent value now. So if you have spare money, this is the time to be buying at these prices. That kind of safeguards you if the market does drop a little bit further, because they become even cheaper then. But if you believe in these projects, at some point, these are going to be probably worth 10x or 100x where they are today. You just got to hold on and not be scared out of the market. And that's the difficult part, which I think people struggle with. But having a long-term vision of what this could look like, what is it? Don't worry about today and tomorrow and next week and a month or 2 months. Where is Bitcoin going to be in a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years? And where are your altcoins going to be? And if you believe that they're going to be much, much higher, then it's a no-brainer to be buying right now. But and I would, if you have the skills, it's a great time to trade. There's great opportunities to trade and make money on the downside and the upside. And that's basically what I'm focused on.
Very good, Mr. Demi. Very good. I love it when your technical analysis verifies fundamentals and vice versa. I think it's very interesting. And it's just good to put these pieces together and have these confluences. Like you say, we're looking for 2, 3, 4 different confluences. Depending upon how you come to them and how you get them, it's very, very interesting to me. And I think, look, at the end of the day, yes, we all want to make money as quick as we can. But actually, I've managed to detach from that. And I'm saying, look, I'm picking projects that I believe in for me personally. If it takes 2 years or 2 months, like you've just said, I'm willing to wait with them when they will go up in value, if they do. But obviously, like Andy says all the time, risk what you can afford to lose. Don't bet the house in all of this, because we don't know what's going to happen. But if we're looking at what's happening from a technical point of view, we can make a prediction on what's likely to happen, at least in the short term. So with that being said, I think now's about the perfect time to jump into the Bitcoin live trading analysis, please, my friend.
Yes, I will. I've just seen Yanis has rephrased this question, so can I just answer that so that we clear that up, if that's all right? And then I can go into the Bitcoin chart. He meant staking cryptos. So yes, you can is the simple answer. You can stake your coins in a wallet. So you need to check which one you're basically using, and then you can basically stake. And some wallets will give you a higher percentage than others. So you need to just check for your specific crypto which one you're using. So this was the confirmation. Hopefully that makes sense. So let me bring in the Bitcoin chat. 1 second, guys. And we'll take a little look. I've been looking at this on a daily basis, and pretty much it's my core focus is what Bitcoin is doing at the moment, because it really does influence the whole market. Can you see my screen, everyone? Hopefully you can see it.
Yes, mate.
Okay. So I know that looks pretty messy. I'm not going to get rid of it right now. We can go to another chart as well that looks less messy, but there's important information here that I don't want to kind of lose. So, and I'll kind of just, I'll get the pen out so I can just put the focus on what I want to show you guys. So if we just kind of take a step back, because I think it's important that we identify essentially what's happened, where we are, and what might happen next. So first thing to note, guys, and this is something you should definitely keep an eye on in the future, and even now, is that when this market was moving up, it was doing it with a series of higher high points like this and higher low points like this, right? And we were doing this where we were breaking the high, breaking the low, breaking the high. Now, one thing you might notice here is that this basically was, can you see like the extensions were getting shorter and shorter here? So they weren't like these extensions here, like this extension here. They were getting weaker and weaker. And then finally, the market broke through and took out this low to make the first lower low. Okay, so let's get rid of that. And there we have it. So you have the first lower low, and then the market pulls up, and we have the first lower high. We'll just move that over, lower high, and then the market pushes down. And we have, let's check this out. So we have this lower low, and then we've gone into this range. Market's made a lower low, a higher low. So that's a typical range. Now, I've been saying, I've been saying it for a while. If these markets are going to reverse, the lows are going to have to be taken out. We've done that. Okay, we have done that. Now, it doesn't mean that's it, but this is what you almost certainly needed to see, right? We needed to see these lows taken out. Why? Because that's typically how a market will reverse. It will take out the lows and then go. And that's how this market up here reversed to the downside. It took out the highs and then it reversed, right? So it's now done that, and that's a good sign. That's a good sign for this. Now, what's also quite interesting here is, if we zoom in, is that this market has created this low point, created a high point, created a higher low, and right now it looks like we're breaking this high. We're about to break this high and then potentially push up. And I think the first real test is going to be here. Okay. Now I could draw something here to highlight that this little zone here is going to be resistance. That's going to be a really important hidden resistance area. So we've got 1, 2, 3 touches, and it's going to come into our channel resistance here, where we have resistance, becoming support, becoming support, becoming support, becoming resistance. And that's basically coming in around that 37,400 to 38, 39. You can count this little zone here as well, which is the 200 and the 50. So this is what you need to mark down on your charts. Okay, so when we finish this, you can go back and rewatch this. This zone is critical. This zone is critical. If we are to have a real resumption of the uptrend, we're going to have to take this out. We're going to have to take this block out. So what I'd need to see is, you know, this range high here. We need to take that out, whatever it looks like that. And then if that happens, we'll find some resistance probably up here. But now we are kind of starting to talk about a different conversation where actually, if you just break it down, what's happened, the market has done this and this and this and this and this, and then probably this. So at this point here, we can start to talk about a new bull potential trend. The real confirmation will be when we take out this channel line here, where we think, okay, well, now we actually have taken out the channel resistance line, the outer channel resistance line up here. So we've got a lot of work to get through. And so I don't want to get carried away here. I would prefer to just trade what I see, which is right now we have this little roadblock that's going to be between 37.5 and 40,000. I know it's a big block here, but this is the daily time frame, and you have to kind of like say, well, look, let's not get carried away, because I know sometimes we can just look at the chart and think, wow, it's green, it's green, it's green, it's going to keep going up, and you end up buying here or here or here, and this is the worst time you could buy, right? If you can get a nice entry, so check this, look at this daily bar right now. We've got a bit of resistance here. So, you know, I don't know where it's going to close. It could, you know, if it closes quite bullishly, if you're not in this, you could certainly look for something like this using the lower time frames. I'll show you. So using the lower time frames, we can look for a pullback here. We could, I mean, here would be great. Anywhere kind of like anywhere really, any pullback could be a great buying opportunity to maybe just take it up to this zone here. Right, and even where we are now, where we can go look at the hourly time frames and the 4-hour time frame. Let's have a little look. If you're not in it, if you're in it, then you'll probably have your targets in place. I've got the I've also got the fibs here, which I'm going to share with you. You've got the A, B, C, and then we have the D extension up here, which is at 38.5. That looks like a good target. We have got the stochastic that is currently overbought, and we have got some divergence here. The stochastic RSI is making a lower high whilst the price is making a higher high, right? It's risky to buy right now. It's a look, you've got resistance, old support becoming resistance coming in around 36.5. Now, if you're trading off a 15 5-minute time frame, then there's plenty of room there to 36.5. There's a, you know, it's $1,000 move. And that's definitely possible, where we could push up to here, find some resistance, this divergence comes into play, and then we get a nice pullback, possibly somewhere like that, where that's the 618 and a retest of this line, and then you buy it. That would be a super good buy around that kind of level. So anywhere kind of anything like that would represent a really nice buying opportunity. You can see here, old resistance here. Where we are right now, you've got to be trading off really tiny time frames to make it a sensible buy, in my opinion, because you are subject to that potential pullback here, and there's some signs there of some hidden weakness. So I would just be cautious. But as I said, on the higher time frames, guys, I am looking for a push up towards 37.5 and 40,000. I think the market will then find some resistance and it's dependent on how we deal with that resistance and where we pull back. If we break through it and we start heading up and take out these highs, then we can start to really plan for the bigger move up potentially. And this will just increase the probability tenfold. And then if we break this line, it increases the probability even more. And then you can start to feel confident about the long-term gains of Bitcoin right now. But that's kind of what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the short-term moves at the moment, taking advantage of these intricate sort of details here, and then planning my trades accordingly, and then using this to guide me in trading other cryptos as well.
Very good, my friend. So just out of interest, it would be really interesting if you had to put a best guess on it right now. What time frame do you think it would be that we would get out of that area, that critical area? Maybe we play around with it a bit, it whipsaws around, it ranges around. But if it was going to start moving to the upside, based on that chart, what month would be your best guess that we start breaking upwards again? Is that possible to ask?
Well, I guess it depends on how it's going to do it. So it's difficult to predict. Like if it acts as resistance, you can kind of draw out your kind of angles. I'll bring it back in. But if it just depends on how it breaks it. If it breaks it on the first swing. So if you kind of look here, here it could be here in a day or two, for example. That's possible. So if this is, it could get there in a day. This is cryptos after all. This could just be up here by the end of the day. That anything's possible. You can see the green bars, and then it's like down to sort of, okay, well, if it's going to retrace down to here, that's typically 2-3 days. If it's going to trace a bit longer, it might be like 3 days. You can kind of see the pullbacks here, what they are. So we'd be looking really 100% next month. Because there's only 2 days left for this month. So this could be here in a couple of days, and then a few days pullback, retracement, and then up. And typically, if this is genuinely going to break up off the back of this, you might see more of a flag than a pullback like we've seen. So here you can see that's a proper pullback. But we might get more something like this here, where you push up. And then a little clue would be good is if we can get a nice push up, and then I'll give you a little thing to look out for, actually. That's going to help you.
This is what we love. This is what we love. The little knowledge bombs being dropped by Andy right now. Just out of interest, while Andy's doing that, let us know what altcoins are you guys hot on at the moment? Which altcoins are you long on? Which projects are the ones that you're believing in? Even if you're watching this on the replay, just put it in the comment section. It would be good to know what altcoins are getting the love at the moment. So let's hear these knowledge bombs, mate. I'm excited to hear about this. Thank you.
Okay, so let's say the market does approach here. What will probably happen is, I don't know where the likelihood, I don't know if it pulls back or whatever, but the likelihood is that the stochastic RSI will be up here, right? Overbought, which we typically don't really want to be buying in an overbought situation, because, if you kind of look back on the 4-hour time frame, like some examples here, the market generally retraces. Okay, generally retraces. So what you want to kind of see is, ideally, let's say we're up here, and we might be breaking out. Ideally, you want to kind of see this market not pulling back like a proper retracement, more like this, like a flag. But generally like not major red bars, more like a flag. And then the stochastic RSI slowly go into oversold. If the market isn't pulling back and the stochastic RSI is in the oversold, that's a very bullish signal for a big momentum breakup. Now, that's not to say if the market pulls down here, we shouldn't buy it, because that's good value. So I'd still be looking to buy it, but we'd approach it slightly differently if the market doesn't really pull back. So it's like, wow, it's got to a major resistance point, but instead of just like retracing loads, it's actually just flagged. And then the stochastic RSI goes to oversold. You'd be really looking for a nice breakout trade here. So close above there, and you could take it on a momentum trade, and you can go with quite a tight stop, because that's a very, very bullish signal. That the fact that you've got to this key point and the market can't even retrace. There's not even enough sellers to push it back, and it's just building energy. Stochastic RSI oversold. That's the perfect kind of background drop to a momentum trade long.
Boom. Thank you for sharing that extra bombs. So we've got Zachariah is hot for XRP, Slavomir, IOTA, Janice is hedging his bets a bit more, XRP, Ada, Matic.
You're killing his name, man. He's not happy with you.
Sorry?
Just imagine G is a Y. How would you say his name?
Giannis.
There you go. He's happy now. I'm sure he's put a little smile. Yanis, that's it. That's how you say it.
Cool.
I'm sorry to put you on the spot like that, but you
remember that very famous football
about this privately. We've spoken about it on the show. Nothing's getting.
I don't remember.
You, so I don't remember.
It will just be confusing when I have Italian friends and I call them Gianluca.
No, it's not confusing.
It will be for me. Anyway. Mr. Uncultured. So XRP, ADA, Matic, Ethereum, VET, and SNX. That's a good little portfolio you've got there, Yanis. Rob saying XRP, ADA, Doge, all long and at spot. Getting a lot of love in the group for XRP and ADA. It seems they're the most popular ones right now. Rico is saying, I observed that happening with Bitcoin last night before it broke out the lower trend line. Not pulling back, stock RSI slowly winding its way to overbought. Caught a lovely move there. Nice one, Rico. Thanks a lot for sharing that and for joining in. If you've got any other questions, let us know now. Otherwise, we are going to bounce. But hopefully, we've covered everything that we promised we were going to do. We've spoken about Binance and the options for securing and making sure that your money's safe. And then, obviously, we've had to talk about the markets in general. And then we've talked about Bitcoin and given you some amazing knowledge bomb laden live analysis on Bitcoin. So hopefully that has got your boots half filled up at least. Just checking the comments.
Awesome. Yeah, can I say something about the short side actually?
Go ahead.
Because, I've seen a couple of comments on that, but also it was something I should mention, because there's an opportunity there potentially. So if it does reach that block that I identified there, and you go to the lower time frames, at the moment the lower time frames are indicating about 38.5 to be the point in that block. So between 37.5 and 40. The hourly time frame is suggesting 38.5. Are you finding something funny?
I'll say it afterwards. Sorry.
All right. Well, so you could definitely look for the short trade as a short-term idea for sure. If you're comfortable shorting the market, which you should be, you should absolutely be. It makes complete sense. Because what happens is most people can't analyze the markets the way that you guys can, the way that you guys have been taught to analyze the markets, and you understand where key pivotal decision points are in the markets. So when you understand that, you know it's not just going to fly through unless there's some big news event. So you can take advantage of that knowledge and short the market and take advantage. So, and I do, I trade on the short side and the long side. You know, when you're trading, there's no allegiances. You know, I believe Bitcoin will be much higher in the future, but in the short term, I'm just looking at opportunities where I think, okay, 38.5, good value, hitting the channel line, hitting my D, it's in my zone. Okay, there's an opportunity there. Let's make money. Let's take the short. That's how you've got to think. You've just got to be unattached. So yeah, I just thought I'd mention something about that.
Yeah, and I was saying that earlier on, actually, when I was doing the promo for the show into the Facebook group, that, you know, you are emotionless in this. And you've got that skill down very well, where you can just be emotionless regardless of whether you're long in it overall, whether you're bullish in it. If there's an opportunity, you trade what you see and you take your emotions and assumptions and everything out of that. So by the looks on your face, you've just seen the comment that I have. So we might as well have a laugh on that now. Gary saying, thanks, gents. From Yari. Sorry, I mean Gary. Thank you for that. Although, Gary, it would have been funnier had you have not been lazy. Naughty boy, not signing in on StreamYard. Go and sit on the naughty step, Yari. But no, I get you. Thank you for that. And I just got to say as well, because I know football fever is catching all over the world. Good luck to England tonight, even though I'm not sure that I'm going to be awake for it. It's going to be a 2 a.m. start. So I'm either going to try and stay up and then fall asleep midway through the first half, or I might try and go to bed. Huh?
Don't waste your time.
Really? You think it's going to go? You think it's going to go all Pete Tong?
Well, I don't know if I'll be bothered to stay up until 2 o'clock to watch a football game. I mean, if it was Liverpool, I probably would, to be fair.
I was going to say the same thing. If it was West Ham, then and it was a big game, then I probably would. But England, I've played this game so many years where I've actually, do you know, I used to get upset about the result of grown men running around a football pitch, kicking a pig's bladder around. I used to get upset. I used to let it bother me. And then about 5-6 years ago, I was like, no more. I'm not playing this game anymore. I'm not letting other people affect my emotions and my state, that I can't control that outcome. It was just crazy. But it's really interesting from a society point of view and a social dynamics point of view, the whole tribal thing and getting into it. I do still kind of enjoy that angle. We're getting a few predictions in. So Raj is saying 2-1 to England. Kevin saying Kane to score. Finally, 3-1 England. You take that. You take that all day long.
There's a lot of faith in Gareth Southgate.
Touche, my friend. Touche.
Well, if we're going with it, mate, let's go with it.
I can't believe I missed that one. You got me on that one. You got me on that one, mate. You're a funny guy. Thank you for sharing your funny side. That was sharp, mate. I appreciate that one. So look, no more questions have come in, guys. Thank you very much for spending your Tuesday with us, wherever you are in the world. We are going to bounce. Is there anything that you want to say just whilst I was so engrossed in the chart tonight that I haven't got the song queued up. So if you can fill for about 20 seconds.
Yeah, no. No, on a serious note, guys, we have to keep this serious as well about cryptos. Stay focused on the price. That's what I will say. Like in general, the markets have dropped and people might be feeling a little bit despondent and thinking, oh man, you know, I've put this much money in, it's now worth less than when I put it in. If you stay faithful and you stick to the plan, don't get scared off the markets. I believe, it's only my opinion, you're going to be in a very strong financial position in the next 5 years with by investing in cryptocurrencies and holding them. Don't let go of them. That's why, in a way, if you really believe in a project, and there's lots of the projects that people have mentioned are good projects, put them in a wallet that you're not looking at every day, so that you're not continuously thinking, oh, my investment's going down, and forget about them. And I bet if you look at them in 2-3 years time, you're going to be blown away by what. And I hate hype, by the way, guys. I don't like hype, but I'm saying this for your own good. Don't get scared off. This is the opportunity of a lifetime. You may not ever get something like this again in your lifetime. So don't lose sight of that. Very important. I just wanted to say that. And that's it.
Mate, you went over and beyond the Call of Duty. That was about 60 seconds, not 20 seconds, mate. That was awesome. I was, shall I play a different song? I was having time for ideas and everything. But look, mate, that was awesome. And really appreciate those final last words. Guys, imagine where we'll be in 5 years' time. Again, don't like hype, but, we could be sitting on a crypto NFX traders yacht that we've all clubbed in for, and we've got like a timeshare on it, which would be awesome. So look, if you've missed stuff, the Binance stuff, I see Rico putting a question in about Binance. We spoke about that at the beginning, mate. So just go through. The replay will be up pretty much instantaneously on Facebook. And with that, we are going to love you and leave you. Have an amazing week, guys. And whatever you're doing, have fun, keep calm, and make lots of pips or cryptos. And we'll see you next week.
Take care, guys.
Intelligenti passeranno